Hello there, welcome back. I'm doing a little book review today for a book called The Crowded Bed by Henry Sackerman. I picked this up in a second-hand bookstore. I'd never heard of this book before, never heard of Henry Sackerman, but being a lover of smut, being a lover of the occasional sexual scene in books, I thought I'd give it a go. The cover caught my eye. As you can see, it's a very old book, yellowed pages, covered in sellotape and stuff, but that didn't put me off, and I gave it a go. The basic premise of the story is a doctor writes an article for a magazine, kind of praising the virtues of polygamy, or polyandry as it's called in the book. And an editor who works for the magazine, a female editor, reads the article, agrees with it, and she's actually in love with two men, but the two men don't know about each other. She's kind of dating them in secret, and so she writes a letter to this doctor asking for advice on how to kind of introduce them to each other and perhaps even marry them both, right? One of these men is called Brad, who's like a big burly bruiser type, like a jock, and the other man is more slim and gentle. So both of these men are like opposites, and that's the basic premise of the story. And the whole entire book is comprised of letters from the female character, who's called Connie. She writes letters to this doctor asking for advice. One of the men, like the gentleman, he's called Arthur. He's actually a secret millionaire, by the way. That affects the story. He writes letters to his financial advisor, to his uncle, and the kind of jock character, he writes letters to his friend. So that the whole book is comprised of letters being written to other people, and you as the reader are kind of reading somebody else's letters. It worked for me. It got a little bit off-putting at times, just because of the format of it, but it did work. It didn't ruin the story. It's very intelligently written as well, which always goes down well. It's full of these like wise insights about life, and I got the feeling that this Henry Sackerman was quite an intelligent man. I think he's dead now. It's an old book, but it's well written, lots of clever insights. A bit unbelievable in parts though. The storyline here and there, I was reading it thinking maybe not. Would it really work? That's the big question surrounding this book, really. Would it really work? Would a woman be able to marry two women like this and kind of hold down a relationship? I suppose it does happen. There are people like that in the world. I don't know whether they actually get married like they do in this book, but it does happen. I'm not sure whether the book is like pro-polygamy or pro-polyandry. By the way, polygamy is when a man has two wives or several wives. Polyandry is when a woman has several men. That's the difference. So this book is about polyandry, and I don't know whether this book kind of praises that or whether it's a kind of mockery of it. But I won't ruin the ending. But I suppose it is pro-polyandry in a way. I think it's pro-polyandry. There's an unexpected twist at the end. Yeah, on the whole, I enjoyed this. I read this in 5 days, which says a lot for me. I'm generally a slow reader, but I read this in 5 days. It's not too heavy. It's not too heavy going. I enjoyed it. If you want to find this book, you'll probably struggle, however. I doubt very much that there's a Kindle version of it. I was lucky enough to find it in a second-hand bookstore, as I say, so maybe your best bet if you want to read this is to go onto eBay or maybe Amazon and try to search for a second-hand copy. But I do recommend it. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, but if you enjoy sexual scenes, and if you enjoy something a bit different, you might like this. Don't forget, I've got my own selection of books that are available at all the main retailers: Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, all the rest of it, and I've left the links for those below. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back in another 2 weeks or so with another book review. In the meantime, try to have a good day on this polyandrous, polygamous rock we call Earth. Take care. Goodbye.